that we got to listen to.
Heck yeah, we about to go with it. Hey.
All right, here we go. So when you guys hear the music, it'll be different, but it'll be music.
Yeah. We ready for it, baby.
But it's you, man. It's you, Backspin. We know it's
Backspin
you, man.
on the ones and twos, baby. You know we pulling you behind the curtain this morning. Hype with it. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Switching y'all up. A Mother's Day edition of the Real Deal Sports Show. Good morning, Rochester. Good morning, Western New York. Good morning, Real Deal Sports Show family. We got DJ Backspin doing what he does every Saturday morning, making it happen. Love what you do. Hey, this is the Fanatic. Excited to be with you here this morning. Happy Mother's Day to all the amazing mothers out there, including my mom and my beautiful wife. So we are excited to be with you. Sports of all sorts, playoffs everywhere, kids in the background. It's going to be one of those awesome shows today, Rad Man. You ready for it?
I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded, ready for it. Talking sports of all sorts on Saturday morning. Here we are, Saturday, May 13th. Already mid-May, a lot of sports to talk about today. Let's go with our sponsorship and also dedicated to sponsor Challenger Community News, Western New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper, thechallengernews.com or 585-766-3590 for advertising opportunities. If you have an article, send it to editor at thechallengernews.com. There's a lot of spring and summer events coming up. Let's get it out to the community through Challenger Community News as well. People like reading those stories. Hey, Facebook is cool too, but hey, people like to read now. We like to read and find out what's going on. And you can read about the salute to the Buffalo 10, that dastardly act that took place on May 14th, 2022. The anniversary is coming up tomorrow. May 14th, 2023 is the anniversary, and it's a special edition of Challenger Community News, remembering the survivors of 514 massacre as the community continues to heal and pay tribute to those who were lost. So check out this week's Challenger Community News special edition out on the newsstands now. Pick it up at most businesses in the community. If you want to check it out online, thechallengernews.com. The THE Challenger News, NEWS.com. Thechallengernews.com. Check it out. Check out all about what's going on. What's coming up in Rochester. Rapper Lil Mo going to headline this year's Juneteenth event, as well as we got a lot of action going on. Sharpton puts McDonald's Corporation on notice over racial discrimination practices. You can't sell black folks Big Macs and give us little justice, as Al Sharpton is talking about. So read that. Read up what Brother Al Sharpton talking about in the Challenger Community News. He ain't down with the Big Mac no more. Man, I think he done put his tracksuit back on, and they're going to do some serious protesting about how to make. And we told you about Herb Washington, the Rochester, New York owner. He used to own 13 McDonald's here in the marketplace on West Main Street over there. And then they still got the one over there, Upper Falls Boulevard. He used to have 5 Monroe Avenue, 3300 Monroe. Herb Washington sued McDonald's over racial discrimination, how they tried to cheat him out of some of his locations down there in the Pennsylvania area. And guess what? He won his lawsuit. It was over a long time coming, but that was in Challenger Community News. You didn't hear it somewhere else. You heard it in the Challenger. You saw it, read it in Challenger Community News. And also, we told you that happened a year ago. So look like Al Sharpton's on the scene now. Look like, McDonald's got some trouble coming. I tried to stay out of McDonald's with all this racial, how they treating black folks for ownerships when it comes to making the real money. They don't want to give us a real part of the pie, allegedly, according to what's been going on with McDonald's and how they treat the black franchisee owners. So check that article out. It's in this week's Challenger Community News. The 9-week boot camp fitness challenge that 105 The Beat has, The Beat 105.5. Check that out as well. So there's a lot going on. In the world of sports. And Fanatic, and I see J-GILLZ going to come join us. Before he joins us, I just want to say I was flipping channels when I got in last night, caught the second half of the Knicks in the Heat game, basketball game. I was flipping over to the hockey game, catching the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers play as well. And it dawned on me, both of those teams the Toronto Maple Leafs and the New York Knicks are iconic in their own sports. Individual, they're the mecca of the sports world in their individual sports. People were packed into the Social Bank Arena. Formerly, they were in Maple Leaf Gardens back in my day. The place sells out. They got a 50-year waiting list for tickets. New York Knicks, they got a darn near 50-year waiting list for tickets. You can't get tickets to the New York Knicks. It's hard to get those tickets. They sell out every year. They sell out every game. And both of those teams struggled to make the playoffs. And now they just now making the playoffs, and they both seem to play. It was weird. It was eerie switching back and forth. It seemed like both teams had the same mentality. They didn't want to lose. They were playing not to lose. They were trying to hold on. And they went to overtime in the hockey game between the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. And Toronto just didn't go all out to win that game. Say, hey, let's win this in the first 5 minutes of overtime. Austin Matthews tied the game up, took it to overtime. You thought Toronto was going to win it. And then all of a sudden it got later in the overtime. Watch out. Bam. Panthers win it. Then I flip back over to the basketball game. I see Brunson with 14 seconds with the ball. He gets double teamed. Man, kick the ball back out to you. Somebody should have been waiting at the point. Instead, he throws it into the paint. Bam, it gets knocked away. The Heat gets the ball, and bam, there all she wrote. Both of those, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the New York Knicks, to me, they're on a very eerie collision course. Very rich and dedicated franchises, but they just can't get over the hump. They've been sitting idle, sitting pat for so long. Now they finally trying to win and put more players on the ice and on the basketball court. But both of those teams last night, I felt, played not to lose instead of playing to win. And they both are now sitting on the sidelines because of just how they played the game last night. And also, they're just not one game. They're obviously the entire series. Toronto went down 0-3. I mean, how you lose the first two games at home, for one thing? That's a whole nother bag. But you get both of those iconic franchises went out just the way, pretty much identical. Fanatic, your point?
Well, well, to me, you missed. Don't sleep on the purple and gold, baby. You talk about the Knicks, iconic, no doubt. You talk about the Maple Leafs, iconic, no doubt. Let's talk about the Lakers, man. Lakers went out there, still miss Kobe Bean Bryant. No, the 824. I love when they show that in the Raptors. Hey, but the Lakers, they're the iconic franchise that is moving forward. Anthony Davis, Mr. Tin Man, he needed a wheelchair to leave Game 5. That was shocking to me. But he came out, he did what he needed to do. His double jump. I'm sure when we talk to RD or AAU recruiter Mitchell Harrison, when we talk about the double jump, it is crazy how quickly he can jump up, block a shot, and then turn around and go back and contest another shot. So it is beautiful. To me, the Lakers, they are the ones who are rolling and still looking like Showtime somewhat. They got a great matchup. I can't wait to talk to J-GILLZ about them and the Joker coming up. And then, hey, you talk about iconic, we got Boston, Philly. They're in the Game 7. Let's see what they got going on. But the Knicks and Maple Leafs, they're gritty teams. And really, they haven't been relevant to really playoff action in a while. So I know people are sad with both of them being eliminated by Florida teams. But to me, both of those fan bases should be excited about where their future should go moving forward with the Connor McDavid. And to me, a Jalen Brunson, who shockingly really, really, really played well all year. Julius Randle, he stinks in the playoffs when things get tighter. But, hey, the man plays every game during the regular season, and that's a big deal here. So can't wait to bring on our man J-GILLZ to talk more about the NBA, talk about the Bills. We know minicamp is here. We got to shout out to our own, Rochester's own Ramisi Shaka. Check out the ESPNW article. She is a events operation manager for the DC Defenders. We got the XFL championship with her DC Defenders playing the Arlington Renegades today. So woman of the XFL, check it out. I know The Rock has been making his rounds on the different shows that he's been on. But our own, Rochester's own, Roslyn Street's own, Ramisi Shaka, check her out as we bring it on our main man, J-GILLZ. What's happening, J-GILLZ?
Oh, man, it was a whole lot happening, man. I got my phone blowing up after the takes that I've made, and I got to cash those checks. And I'm here to tell you right now, Real Deal Sports family, I'm going to cash them. Just keep on tuning in, and I'll give you the full breakdown of what happened.
Absolutely. And before you get into that, definitely check out that Ramisi Shaka very for to see Rochester. People always ask about Rochester people. Here's somebody from Rochester doing very well. Ramisi Shaka doing quite well with the XFL, and that's a nice spread, as you mentioned, in the women edition of ESPN, the magazine. Excellent, which includes the women of the XFL, and she's surely one of them in the front office, special events coordinator, doing a great job, and keep up the great work. And I also want to thank her once again for getting us the head coach, Reggie Barlow. Before he became a household name, he was on Real Deal Sports Show back in late February. He was on talking about the team, talking about the upcoming season. Had a couple players come on with him as well. Congratulations. He was named XFL Coach of the Year up for the XFL. So looked like Ramisi Shaka pulled us behind the curtain, and we ended up getting the top team as well as the top head coach and players on Real Deal Sports Show before it even happened. Fanatic and J-GILLZ. Excellent. Hey, so before we go full on NBA, because I know that's going to take up most of the show, just want to see with the Bills. Let's talk about it, man. Buffalo Bills. And to me, we always want to keep giving love to Damar Hamlin, always keep getting well. But the schedule dropped. Bills open up the season on the road. Monday Night Football to see Aaron Rodgers in his new home. The Bills got a later bye, week 13 bye week. Just wanted to get your initial thoughts. J-GILLZ, you first, and then Radman. Let us know what's some of the thoughts that you saw from your vantage point of the Bills 2023 NFL schedule.
Well, I'm definitely liking the schedule. A lot of primetime games for the Buffalo Bills. Nothing else is nothing else is new. They're pretty much lived in the primetime slots over the past couple years. Huge game in London, week 4, I believe, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who will be their second week. They'll be playing back-to-back weeks in London. So, I thought that was a little unfair for the Bills to have to travel on a short week against the Dolphins that week 4, and then to go to, right there to London right after. I thought that was pretty bad. But overall, I think the schedule is pretty good. The big question marks here are the defense, Leslie Frazier's departure, the offense, Ken Dorsey's second year. I think the schedule is favorable, but I'm excited to see if the Bills can answer those questions.
I agree with you. To me, this is the best schedule I've seen for the Buffalo Bills in quite over 20 years. I think this schedule really helps a team that's struggling to make some changes. They have veteran players. They got to fill a lot of holes. It gives them time to fill those holes, and you're not opening the season with a lot of big-time games. You open up with the Jets. The Jets going to be figuring their way. I think the Jets will be better as the season goes on with Aaron Rodgers. I think it's a good time to open the season with them. And then you have the Raiders coming in, the new quarterback. Things are struggling there. Then you got the Washington Commanders, new ownership, whole 9 yards going on in that contest there. Then you have the Dolphins at home instead of going to that steamy, hot Miami. I can't believe we're not heading to Fort Lauderdale in late September, man. I've been down there the last 3-4 years. We're going to miss that late September, but we're not going to meet that stifling 100% humidity down that way. Then the Jaguars game come after that. You come home to the Giants, the Patriots. Then you even got the Buccaneers at home this year. The Bills go to the Bengals. You have the Broncos here. You get the Jets back. Then you get the Eagles. You have some really good games coming in the second half of the season, and I think the Bills can get better with their quarterback, the 2 tight end system. As I think the Bills will not be as good at the beginning of the season. I think they'll be better as the season go along. They're filling the holes on the defense. Who's going to be the main linebacker? Where Dorian Williams going to play? Are you going to put Matt Milano in the middle linebacker position in a hybrid type set defense, which I think is a possibility because of how well it worked last year with Milano in the middle, and put Dorian Williams on the outside and see some of these other young guys that they can get in there in there. And then my favorite thing I like the most, you get your bye week 13. Which is, I always hated the week to buy in the first 5 or 6 games because you're just trying to get yourself together. By then, hopefully hopefully the Bills won't be decimated with injuries by week 13. But by then, that'd be an excellent time for a bye. Get yourself together, give everybody a week off, heal up some of those injury guys, and get them ready for the stretch drive. To me, this is one of the best seasons. Go to Kansas City. After that, you have even more tougher games. Cowboys, you got a lot of tough games when you get into double digits from week 10 on. So I think it's a great schedule. I think the Bills can take advantage of it and have another very good season. And I think this could lead them this year. Last year, the Bills was the team with the point. Now it looks like the Jets, with all the games they having on prime time and the whole 9 yards, I think the Jets might have that bullseye on their back this season. The Bills right there with them, right behind them. But I think Buffalo can overcome it and not only make the playoffs, but put a serious Super Bowl run coming this year, especially if Von Miller comes back around Thanksgiving time. Oh, man, I think that would be great around week 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there around Thanksgiving. You get Von Miller back. You get that defense even more solidified. And I think that, hey, there you go. Get a stretch run. Get a Super Bowl run going. And I think the Bills may not be the favorite, but, hey, I think they'll come in there and do quite well with a defensive team and a bit more balanced offense. Get the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. Run the football, run the football, run the football. Play action passes, screen passes, draw plays. I think you'll see a much better rounded offensive season this coming year. That's what I'm expecting, guys.
Yeah, now to me that you hit a lot of great points. Rad man, I see. Hey, I can tell I'm doing something right because those are some things that I thought about. First thing I thought about New England too, and Buffalo. Neither one are seeing Miami in that hot steamer Miami Gardens in September. So that's an interesting little quirk to the schedule. But I also would say though is the middle of the season, that physicality, that extra game. Man, I think New England, they're going to struggle on offense like normal, but Bill Belichick just will not get the offense right. They had one season with that, and you get a top receiver. Who would have thought you might have a chance to go 18-1? Even though they did lose Randy Moss that 07 season when they had a top receiver. Bill Belichick just will not do that. He traded Jacoby Myers basically in for Juju Smith-Schuster, paying the same amount of money as a free agent. Didn't understand that. But anyway, New England defense that y'all played, the middle part of the season, I'm fascinated to see how the Bills elevated. You guys are flying under the radar right now, Buffalo. Buffalo gets a chance to really not be the hunter or the hunted right now. Right now, they kind of lay low, somewhat the hunted, but they also can be the hunters as well. So that middle of the season, October 22nd, then they turn around and play a Thursday night against Tampa Bay. That defense is physical, and I'm speaking particularly the physicality, I think, of this middle part of the season, especially with these defenses. New England defense, Tampa Bay's defense, Cincinnati's defense. We saw them push Buffalo around on offense and defense. Denver's defense is physical. The Jets defense will be physical. And then you get the Eagles. That to me is the gauntlet of the season. Will let us know if the Bills are pretenders, championship level, division just level teams. We'll really get a chance to really see more about who the Bills actually are through that middle part of the season, October 22nd through Thanksgiving, November the 26th when they play the Eagles. That to me was the biggest outliers of the schedule, the biggest illuminating part between that part of the schedule and then not having to play Miami early in the season like normal.
Absolutely, fellas. I think that will be the big story coming up. You go to the Chargers late in the season, go out west. The Bills are home a lot more conveniently this year than they were in the last couple of years. No Thanksgiving game this year. Thank goodness. Don't have to be on the road on Thanksgiving for Bills home or away game. Being in New Orleans and the Dallas and years gone by, they missed that holiday. But hey, they got a lot of good games in there and very few 1:00 games, later games for Bills fans this year. And I think that'll help the team season them up and get them ready. Because I tell you one thing, the jury's still out on the Chargers quarterback. I don't know why he's getting a pass, and he hasn't really thrown that many passes and looked that great. Joe Burrow's done stepped up and showed that he's right up there with the best in the National Football League. But quit giving Jason to get this Herbert kid, keep giving Herbert a pass and talk about he gonna earn big money. How he gonna earn big money? He hasn't even done anything yet. Come on, man. I just don't see it.
The projections are ridiculous. They're talking about 6 years, $320 million, $200 million guaranteed. Come on, man. For a quarterback who can't even get out past the first round of the playoffs, a quarterback who just made it to the playoffs in the wild card last year, only to lose to Trevor Lawrence.
Epic collapse. Come on.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, man. But then you want to get mad and not pay Lamar Jackson.
Come on now, J-GILLZ. You always spend the gospel
that he needed. Come on, man.
Take us to church, J-GILLZ. You know you right on it with that. Yeah, That is interesting. That's something I've been kind of thinking about. Who would y'all rather have moving forward, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen? Both out of the same draft class, both eating up a lot of the cap now. Who would y'all rather have moving forward?
Wow, that's a real good question.
Great question, Fanatic.
And once again, Lamar Jackson has average receiving cores. He doesn't have a true receiving core, where Josh Allen has had some good receivers in the whole 9 yards in most of his career with Buffalo. He got mentally turning on. The guy got mentally turning on and be able to. Now, let's see, if you take the ball out of his hands a little bit. We saw that when the ball's in his hand, he led the league in turnovers last season. So he's not the greatest guy. He's not a thinking man's quarterback. I need somebody thinking a little bit more that can think and make some plays. I'll go with Lamar Jackson on this one because he has been a league MVP, and he's proven when he's on the field, he can pass the ball as well as run with it and make other players look good. That's one thing. I haven't seen Josh Allen make other guys on the Buffalo Bills look really good. Have you?
I mean, I think that Lamar Jackson, I would probably go with Lamar Jackson just off of his electric ability. He is a former league MVP, and of course the age. But I cannot discredit Josh Allen. I won't say that he doesn't make others look good, but that clutchness that I've seen from Josh Allen, maybe not in every game, you know what I mean, in those big games, but let's take it back to Kansas City with 13 seconds. I mean, I've never seen Lamar Jackson play a game like that, and that's a game that should have gotten the Buffalo Bills to the AFC Championship game. I haven't seen a clutch performance like that from a Lamar Jackson. Granted, he's been void of weapons, void of number one receivers, but he's had a powerful running game that has allowed him to be successful on the ground as well. But if you give him a receiver, there's nobody saying that he can't make those throws. We just haven't seen it. I've seen Josh Allen stumble, as y'all like to call it, Josh ball. But yes, I've also seen him play great, out of his mind. So I might go with Lamar Jackson, but I can't just sit here and negate Josh Allen and his abilities either.
One quick question for you, J-GILLZ. Other than the 13-second game, that Kansas City game where he did, I agree with everybody. He played out of his mind. Is there any other game when he played out of his mind that jumps out at you?
I mean, 13 wins, man. 13 wins.
No, I ain't talking about 13.
That's the whole season. That's the whole season's worth, Brad, man. That's the whole season's worth. 13 wins back-to-back seasons. Come on, man. You got to give that man some credit. They've been blowing out the competition. Last year, blowing out Tennessee. Blowing out the Rams. I mean, come on, man.
But they weren't playoff teams. They weren't playoff teams. Those teams were very poor last year.
I've seen Lamar Jackson play worse games than I've seen. I'll take you this way: Dolphins versus the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, I think 2 picks. It was a terrible showing. Maybe it was that Florida Heat, but he from Miami. There's no excuses. I done seen Lamar play some bad games too now. And let's talk about this. Josh Allen is an Iron Man. He's going to play every single game. We can't count on Lamar Jackson to finish his season. We got to give that man credit where it's due.
Good point. That's a good point. But I haven't seen nothing since that 13-second game.
Yeah,
that changed my mind. I haven't seen one solid game since that 13-second. Think about it. You haven't really seen a real solid game where you just said, "Wow, that guy just ate up that defense, man." I haven't seen one game come close to that Kansas City game, and it's almost going on 2 years now.
Yeah, the with Mahomes is epic.
Yeah, but hey, Rabbit, I think that's a good point. J-GILLZ, you almost had him like Ric Flair with the figure 4 leg lock. J-GILLZ is almost ready to tap out. He did his fancy footwork, as I call it, or window dressing. You asked him about a specific game. J-GILLZ gave you 2 back-to-back seasons. Hey, I'm the more impartial one maybe on this one. And realistically, I can't think of one game. Is there? Yeah, Josh has got to have a 4-touchdown, no interception, no turnover game somewhere, but it really isn't coming to me because even the Jets games he struggled in. I mean, I guess he'll say the New England games. I know New England couldn't stop him. What was that, 2 years ago? He couldn't stop them. I know the Bills lost when in the monsoon where Mac Jones threw the ball like 3 times and they just ran Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. But you're right, Rabbit. When you think about that. Where's the one game? Where's that stamp beside the 13-second game? Because he did play out of his mind there. And he played well against Kansas City last year, but he turned it over on that second drive when they were going to score points. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's no one signature moment outside of that. You would think with somebody who gets the love. Y'all talk about Justin Herbert getting all the love. He does get a lot of love, but we know Josh Allen has been elevated as well. But it's interesting. Yeah, not the one signature moment. So good point there, Rad, man.
There we go. So that's the thing that I'm concerned about. He's not a thinking man's game. He got to start thinking. His football IQ is very low.
Hold on.
He got to get that IQ up. Got to get the IQ up.
Y'all don't remember Josh Allen with these what multiple 400 yards games, multiple 3 passing touchdown games, multiple getting at least 2 rushing touchdowns. Come on now, Josh Allen he's the whole offense for the Bills. The Bills putting up points. I mean, Josh Allen, it's no coincidence that he can throw for 400, 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown in the game. He's done that multiple times in his career. Come on now, we're not gonna sit there and do that to Josh Allen.
Hey, like I said, we're gonna have to see. Time will tell because most of those quarterbacks for the rushing touchdowns, they usually broke up and out the league. Not pretty soon with injuries. Definitely. And before we get to our next topic, Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, auto, home, health, and life. Hey, motorcycles are back. If you're riding a bike, check out Miriam. She got some special deals for you over there at 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give our friend to the show, Miriam Rivera, phone call, area code 585-360-0094. I guarantee you, if she's good enough to take care of my family and save my family a whole lot of money on insurance, auto, home, health, and life, Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Farmers Insurance Agency can do the same for you. Check her out, y'all.
I love it. Hey, well, let's go to it. We talked a lot of NFL. It is time. Let's go, J-GILLZ. Let's go ahead and run our full court press. You know how we get down. Full court press, trap it in the corners, 94 feet. That's what J-GILLZ and I do. So Radman already kind of kicked us off. I just got the Lakers. Let's talk recap the Heat and Knicks game. What was that? Game 6 yesterday. Knicks went home. Golden State went home. And game 6 lost to the Lakers. My big thing, Klay Thompson. They talking about Kevin Durant. We'll talk about Phoenix because we got to talk about Phoenix. We got to talk about Embiid. We're going to talk about my man, the Joker. But let's focus laser lock in on Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors. The Lakers were a good team. They were clearly the better team. Anthony Davis, great performance. But Klay Thompson is, to me, a shell of his former self. He looked like a bad rec player whose daddy told him he was good, and he's not that good at all because his jump shots were just horrible. And it is just I felt bad watching Klay. The torn ACL, the torn Achilles, man, really seemed to be coming to fruition. And with his 3 of 18 last night, couldn't hit a 3-pointer for anything to save his life. It was 3 of 19. Sorry to correct myself. 2 of 12 from 3-point line. So, J-GILLZ, what's your thought about Golden State and what you saw with them, in particular, Klay?
Man, well, first I have to start this segment, this full court press, by giving full credit to Darvin Ham and his coaching staff, Phil Handy and the rest of those guys. The game plan going in, I didn't think that it was going to be effective, but it was. They took the strength of the Lakers. The Lakers were the number 1 team in getting to the line this year, and the Warriors were the dead last team in getting to the free throw line. So when you look at the free throws in this series over these 6 games, the Lakers doubled the Warriors in free throws, 160-80. They controlled the tempo throughout. LeBron James and AD, very slow paced. Now, it was a lot of flopping going on as they discussed on social media back and forth, but I have to give credit to LeBron James and Darvin Ham, just the way that they controlled the tempo, the way that they were going to let anybody but Steph beat them. The greatness of Steph Curry showed in his passing ability, in his scoring. His shooting was terrible throughout this season, but, I mean, he closed it out with a 30-piece last night, 30-piece, 6 and 9, something like that, flirted with a triple-double. But I will say this. Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, I'll give him a little credit with that rib injury, Draymond Green, and Jordan Poole. Where is Jordan Poole? 4 years, $130 million. Come on now. To foul out almost, dang near foul out with no points. It was 4 fouls with 0 points. The efficiency just wasn't there. I mean, you got to give credit to the Lakers. They said they wasn't going to let Steph Curry beat him. They didn't let Steph Curry beat him. But for Klay Thompson not to show up, for Jordan Poole not to show up, for Wiggins, I got to give Wiggins credit. I'm not going to go hard on Wiggins, but I will say this. It's no coincidence that Bob Myers, the GM of the Golden State Warriors, hasn't been re-signed yet. If we look at him and his championship run, he's been a key piece, a cognitive piece in finding these talent and building this roster. But for the roster to be void of a big man, this is probably the worst matchup the Golden State Warriors could have had because of the athleticism of AD, because of the size of guys like Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell. These guys are 6'4", 6'6". The Warriors didn't have the size to contest, and their shooting ability was off. When I look at the Warriors, psychologically, AD snatched their souls, giving up wide open layups to the basket, kicking it out for three. AD had everybody shook, everybody scared, and it came down to the physicality, came down to the free throws, and the Warriors just weren't able to match. Like I said, I'll be very curious to see what's going to happen with Bob Myers and this roster construction to trade James Wiseman in the middle of the season, not to replace him with a big. It showed, and it's going to be some major changes. If you ask me, major changes.
Do you think that Jordan Poole missing that shot at the end of Game 1 and the way the media went after him and people felt that even fans and everything, everybody with whatever social media, the whole 9 yards, felt he should have got that ball back into Clay or Steph Curry's hands, and he shouldn't have taken that last second shot? Do you think if he would have made that shot, do you think he might have been better? But it looked like because of the ridicule and the comments made about him after Game 1, it looked like he shut it down the rest of the series.
Man, Go ahead.
No. Well, all right. Well, I'll make mine quick. All I can say about Jordan Poole, I had him in my fantasy basketball league. Dude was up and down all year long. It could have started with that punch. Maybe last year was more of a fluke, but Golden State just didn't look right, and Wiseman's the one that messed that up. I will go back. They should have drafted my man LaMelo Ball. We would have had a big baller brand site, and we could have had LaMelo helping at the guard position. But nah, but they really they needed a big man, a real post. Looney is trying to do his thing, and he was such a top recruit coming out. But that man, he's allergic to the basketball. They got Golden State's issue is they didn't have enough scoring. You see these totals. They needed scoring from Poole. They're not getting anything from their front court. Draymond had 20 points. That's the most he's had pretty much all season. To me, Poole was just up and down all year. Maybe it started with the punch. Maybe he's just not feeling it anymore. Maybe with negotiations. And who knows what was really going on. But I just know he's a shell of himself, and he was up and down all year long. And they needed him to bridge the gap from the old the Steph, Clay, Draymond, and I have no idea why Kirk didn't play Kuminga. Kuminga is bouncy. That he need to play Kuminga more. So that's interesting to me. But go ahead, J-GILLZ. What were you going to say?
I think that the media added fuel to the fire that we didn't get a chance to see. Like Fanatic stated earlier on in the season, for that punch to get thrown. He had that boy looking like my man's from Friday who got his bike stole. He was looking terrible. Right, though. It was bad, but I think that this added fuel. Once the ridicule came on him, I think he was already feeling the type of way. The way the team revolves around Draymond Green and his leadership, for a man to punch you in the face and then everybody still buddy with him, listen to him, letting him guide them. He's going to feel a certain type of way. So I think that did add a little bit of fuel, but I think that it added fuel to the fire. It didn't cause the fire. But another thing, too, about the Warriors' scoring ability, this last game, I alluded to the free throws earlier on in my segment, but the Lakers beat the Warriors last night by 21 points, and to me, it's ironic that the Lakers they made 21 free throws over the Lakers. That's the 21 points right there, and that's really what this series was about. Warriors went 10 for 14 from the line from free throws, and then the Lakers went 31 for 42. That's literally a 21-point swing off the line, and they lost by 21. So I think that was a testament to how this game went. The tempo, the IQ, just the whole game plan, and got to give them credit. And now it's going to be it sets up an epic matchup really between AD and Jokic, but we're going to get there a little later.
Yeah, before you get there, I say Willie Washington Sr. has a comment here, and he says that Steve Kerr was horrible by not playing his bench. He says he even mentions that the year they won 73 games, Steve Kerr was ill, and Mike Brown coached that team, and Mike Brown played everybody. He said, for some reason, Steve Kerr refuses to use his bench more and use his players spread out throughout the season and in the games. Because Willie Washington Sr. did predict that they would lose. I spoke with him earlier yesterday as well, and he said Steve Kerr is not going to use the bench, and they're going to end up losing this game. Do you think that's a fair assessment of Steve Kerr not using his bench?
No, I can't agree with that statement. I believe when I look at the bench, some key contributors, DiVincenzo, Looney, when he wasn't in the starting lineup, Poole, who didn't show up, Moody, he had minimal minutes, but he had impactful minutes throughout the series. They didn't have anybody to contend with Anthony Davis. They didn't have anybody to contend with Austin Reeves even. You know what I mean? They didn't have the size to really go toe-to-toe with them, and that's where the downfall went. Steve Kerr played about an 8-man, 9-man rotation, and those guys were effective. They were just too small.
J-GILLZ, I 100% agree. Willie Washington, good man, love that dude. He's wrong on this one. Sorry, Willie. The Golden State, if he could have played anybody. He could have played the people handing out the drinks. He could have played the trainers. They weren't going to beat this Laker team. They were too small. They weren't as athletic, and they didn't have enough shot makers. That's why I'm surprised he didn't go with Kuminga. Kuminga really played well because Steph was out. Clay had load management. Draymond, a.k.a. Day-Day, he was out a couple of games too. Kuminga was the one when I watched, again, me and my fantasy basketball league, stayed up late watching a lot of Jordan Poole to figure out what to do with him and realized Kuminga is the one who can bridge the gap with being a really stretch four, but almost a 3-wing who can really play. He got to work on his handle to become but I can see him really becoming a fully complementary piece, a 20-point scorer, easy button. I can see that.
Absolutely, gentlemen. And before we continue and get into the next segment, we got to pay the cost to be the boss. Rock Pawn Brokers, 559 State Street, 585-262-9920. Give a call. Better yet, he has a sidewalk sale, a street sale going on right now. Stop down on the side street. He has power tools, car tires, all kinds of items that you may need for your household or your automobile or vehicle. He has a sidewalk sale going on right there at Rock Pawn Brokers, 559 State Street. For the next 2 weeks, check out this sidewalk sale and go down there and get yourself a deal, because I sure did catch a deal when I stopped through there yesterday. Beautiful sidewalk sale. Sammy and the whole crew and his family, hey, they're right there. They'll help you handle your business and get what you need there at Rock Pawn Brokers, 559 State Street, 262-9920. J-GILLZ. If you need something, stop down there and check that sidewalk sale out, J-GILLZ.
Oh yeah, I gotta get this lawn right, man. I gotta get this lawn right. I'm looking. My neighbors got their grass cut. I'm the last of the crew. I gotta get my thing together. I might have to stop at Rock Pawn Brokers, get a weed whacker or something.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, I saw some of those outside. Yeah. The sidewalk sale is on and popping. So stop on through there. And it's not only this weekend, it goes all the way through next week as well. So check out the sidewalk sale at Rock Pawn Brokers, 559 State Street for sure.
Yeah. No doubt. Hey, let's keep it moving here. Talk about the Heat, the Knicks. Just thoughts to me. I think the Knicks fans up here, as I'm up in New York City today, fellas, and man, New Yorkers are crying orange and blue right now. And I'm like, man, y'all should be happy. The Knicks weren't expected to win a game the way that they did. To win a series the way that they did. And they did that. And they beat a Cleveland team. Shout out to my friends and family from Cleveland watching today. Sorry to bring that up, but the Knicks did their thing. Tough series, but the Knicks should be proud. Julius Randle, tough series again. Need to reevaluate him, but the Knicks should be excited about where they are moving forward. Your thoughts, fellas? J-GILLZ.
I gotta agree. And Radman kind of went a little hard on them a little earlier today. I thought they had a decent showing. I thought they did pretty well, Radman. I thought that they had a lot to hang their heads on this season. To me, who's the most sickest right now is the Dallas Mavericks for letting Jalen Brunson go. I mean, My God. I mean, Jalen Brunson looked like kind of like Jimmy Butler out there. He came through with some clutch steals, and he just didn't have enough around him to get it done. Julius Randle. I'm tired of Julius Randle crying like that. I'm curious to see what Knicks fans, how they feel about Randle and what's going to happen with him. But I heard Stephen A the other night calling for him to get traded. I couldn't believe it. But I do think that the Knicks definitely had a great season. I think that they're going to build on this if they could contend. When you got a dynamic duo like Rick and Jalen Brunson, you know what I mean, getting the best out of his son, getting the best out of Jalen Brunson, making him to that all NBA player that we know him to be. I think that you continue to surround guys around him. The sky's the limit for the Knicks, especially in the Eastern Conference. RJ Barrett, my God.
Talk about him.
Another one, man.
Come on, Jacob. All they do, hey, to answer your question, they dogging Julius Randle. If I'm him or his family, do not listen to New York radio. Do not, because they dogging him. And really, RJ Barrett, where is that kid at? But go ahead, J-GILLZ. Great point.
Nah, and that's another one. This RJ Barrett, man. I mean, he's gone, he's lost, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see how they bounce back next season. But I gotta give the Knicks their due. For all those Knicks fans listening, I'm pretty sure that they a little disappointed, but at the end of the day, I think they're pretty happy and satisfied.
No doubt. Well, I think this leads to an interesting question as well. I can't believe that Miami, the second number 8 seed to reach the conference final since the New York Knickerbockers. So it's interesting. Talk like the Heat. Every time I watch them, it's ugly basketball to me. And they turn around, they somehow keep on winning. And so to me, overall, as we get ready to preview the Game 7 here, who do you think has been the better postseason player this year? To me, is it a Jimmy Butler? Is it a Devin Booker before they went out? Ice-T was said it best about how Phoenix went out 2 nights ago, but we can't say that here on our airways. But if y'all know, Ice-T said it best. Who do you would be the best postseason player so far? And we're not talking about your man. If you want to choose Embiid, we definitely got to have a conversation. But the best postseason player so far in this NBA playoffs, J-GILLZ, who you thinking?
I mean, I feel like this is a setup question, Fanatic. I think it's but you're not going to get me this time. You're not going to get me this time, Fanatic. I mean, we got to give it to Jokic at this point. The way he's been playing, I got to shout out my man's Jokic. You called it all season. He's the best player in the NBA. You called it. And the look at his numbers, it's staggering. It looks like a prime LeBron James final stat line. I mean, really, from triple doubles left and right, 32, 10, and 12, 29, 13, and 12, dropping 53 at Phoenix at 11. Couldn't get the job done, but still, my God, what a performance. He's averaging this postseason about 35. I mean, he's been playing phenomenal. He's averaging a triple double, and you got to give the man credit. And it's not just his numbers. He's actually winning. You know, we didn't think that Phoenix stood a chance, but we got to give credit to the greatness of KD and Devin Booker to get him too. But I mean, if it wasn't for those elite efficient performances from those two, then it would have been going in a clean sweep. And that's why it's setting up such a pivotal matchup, because the Joker is about to meet Batman and Robin, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that one.
Yeah, Jake. Hey, but you right on the money. That Lakers Denver series, that's gonna be something serious, man, because both of them have a lot of depth. We just talked about the Steve Kerr, Willie Washington saying Steve Kerr doesn't play his bench. Both of those teams play their benches. They go 8, sometimes even 9 guys deep. So that's gonna be a good team effort to kind of see where they go. I still like Denver. I like Denver in 6, probably 7 over my Lakers. It hurts to say that, but I love you shouting out finally. Putting some respect. We get it live on camera. I don't got to see it on my text. I'm glad you get to say it in front of everybody. The Joker gets some love. He still got to deliver. This championship should be a championship run. It is going to be challenging, but I think he still has to prove it and make it happen this year. So, but to me, I think you're right. I would say the Joker, but I think that's a little biased. I'm going to say Jimmy Butler, who saw this run coming. He truly wills his team. Bradman mentioned earlier, Josh Allen doesn't make other people better. Man, Jimmy Butler makes people play out of their minds in a good way. So, to me, I'm going Jimmy Butler. I was thinking Devin Booker, but, man, how they go out. And then Devin Booker, don't be sorry. Don't not talk to the media. You've been dropping 40, 50 like crazy. You happy to come on talk to the media? Oh, come on, guys, ask me questions. Now, when y'all lose and get eliminated, it's the end of the year. You can't even man up and go talk to the media. That's a sorry. That as they say, Harry Potter, that's a boy's answer. That's a boy's move right there. Come on, Devin Booker, you're better than that. So I'm going with Jimmy Butler, but Jokic, that's a great one as well. Hey, let's keep it moving.
Give a lot of credit to the role players in Miami. I hear
they all are role players. That's a whole team full of
team. That's a fact. But I mean, Jimmy. I mean, even without Jimmy, they played him so tough. A lot of these guys, we just got to give them credit. Bam out of the Bayou, playing lights out, playing phenomenal. I'm excited to see the potential matchup with him and Joel Embiid as well. Or him and Robert Williams. Either way, I think it's going to be a great series that Miami gets to rest, gets to prepare for. And this is the difference maker to me. You got Coach Eric Spoelstra. That's why I kind of against either Doc Rivers or Joe Mazzulla. And I'm curious to see the chess match between Mazzulla and Spoelstra. And I think that Miami can actually pull that off if they do end up playing the Boston Celtics.
I agree with you, gentlemen, both on that take. Coaching counts in the play. It counts all the time. In the last 2 minutes of games and clutch moments, that's where it counts the most at. And they seem to have excellent coaching, the Miami Heat. You can't name their players or their starting five each season, but they always seem to be deep into the playoffs and giving a serious run. If you got to beat, they don't beat themselves.
Yes,
you got to beat them. They don't beat themselves,
Great
and that's a sign of great coaching. He's supposed to me is the Bill Belichick of the NBA, but you don't hear the announcers talk about him like that. You don't. You got to beat the coaching staff. His coaching staff dismantled the Knicks coaching staff, and throughout the season, Miami handled the Knicks. The games were close, but Miami always seemed to beat the Knicks even during the regular season. So that's why I like Miami in that series. And hey, the next series coming up. It's going to be great. We have less than 3 minutes to go, gentlemen. Your final closing thoughts on the playoffs or sports of all sorts.
Yeah. Well, to me, hey, I think J-GILLZ, I'll make mine quick. J-GILLZ, hey, this is your man. And B did show up for about 2 games in the fourth quarter. It's his time. I'm not saying that he can't do it because Boston isn't that good in general. I mean, they're a great team. I'm sorry, a good team, not a great team. But I definitely feel like, to me, it's Joel Embiid. This is going to be him. What does he do? Maxey is coming, but he's not there yet. Harden, I still don't believe it, even though he's played well. This is about your MVP, Joel Embiid.
I have to agree. My last statement says, Joel, it's all or nothing. It's game 7 on Mother's Day. Your mom was there when you got that MVP. You're looking at Jokic putting up monstrous numbers, destroying teams, and just ready to go. So you have to take that personal. You have to say, that's the man who beat you twice, 2 years in a row for MVP. When you deserved it, now you got it. You have to capitalize on this moment. You have to take over the game and show that you are the best player in the NBA.
Absolutely, absolutely. There you have it, gentlemen. Your picks for the week and for the games. Keep in mind, subscribe to the pod at Real Deal Sports Show. Subscribe to the pod at Real Deal Sports Show. There's a lot of good sports coming up this weekend. That game 7. You got a lot of NBA. You got playoff. You got regular baseball, MLB going on. A lot of good games. A lot of good action going on in the sports world. So keep in contact. Real Deal Sports Show. Subscribe to it. Check out the podcast. And also, obviously, our listeners here on WLGZ HD2, the Beat 105.5. Backspin.
Hey, wait. And I know we're going to get back to the ones and twos real quick. Bob Huggins. Hey, we always talk about it when it's up and out, when people say bad things about black people, and we got to do that. But I also want to shout out Bob Huggins in a negative way. You can't be talking like that, dog. Come on. And we'll elaborate more on that. Talk about the Catholic and talk about his old institution. Bob Huggins, old school. We know plenty of old school people who think this way and talk like that. That's not right, Bob Huggins. Get yourself. I can't believe you got $1 million pay reduction from that, which is crazy. But Bob Huggins, we'll talk about that more. Come on, man. That wasn't it.
In the portal, Deion Sanders, man, grind, man. Get in that portal. 57 players leave. Get 57 other cats to come to your school and play. That's ridiculous, man. All those guys. Come on, all y'all getting in the portal? Come on, man. You know, something's up there in Boulder, Colorado already. And Rick Pitino, man, he grinding already, man. Slick Rick is back, man. Watch out. I told you that dude, Slick Rick. Lock the doors. Nobody leave the room. That's Rick Pitino. Man, he up there doing something. He got the player of the year from the Ivy League already. Man, come on, Rick. How Slick Rick do that? Y'all better watch him up there at St. John's, man.
Yeah.
Especially now that guys can get paid now with that nil and stuff. He was doing it before you. He was putting teams on probation and stuff before that. So this is nothing new for Slick Rick. This is really his coming of age now. So watch out for Slick Rick with St. John's, the Redmond there in St. John's. Watch out for St. John's. I think they changed their name. I'm back to the Lou Conasecca era. But hey.
Red Storm.
Thank you. Red Storm is their modern name. They're more named today. But watch them. Slick Rick is what I want to close with. Backspin.
Yes, sir.
Slick Rick is
How you
at it
guys
already
doing?
at St. John's, man.
Yeah,
What's that?
Oh, Rick Pitino.
Oh yeah. You know Rick Pitino, man. He's definitely one of those classic kind of coaches. You know what I mean? Old school kind of coaches. So he got that old school way of thinking. You know, Slick. They don't call him Slick Rick for nothing.
For real.
And to be only in college sports, he can do everything that he's done, and he's still been collecting the check.
Right.
Still been cycling through. Was in Iona, New Rochelle. Now he get to be in New York City. He in New York City. He was in Louisville, Kentucky before. Now he in New York City. I can't imagine the resources that he may have and what may be jumping off at St. John's. Man.
Oh man, he in Queens. You know how Queens get the money. Yes.
I won't be surprised if he gonna be calling you to host a party for him real quick.
Hey, he got the check, so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's gonna be an electric slide party somewhere in the Queen, somewhere around there, man. Electric slide down, yes indeed. Shoot. Anthony Hamilton may be showing up there like he was here last night.
Oh man, what an awesome show last night. Sold out concert. Anthony Hamilton put it on for the town. J-GILLZ definitely got busy. Super talent. Y'all make sure y'all remember that name, J-GILLZ. You will definitely be hearing that name for years to come. The boy is super sharp, super dope. He had his band here last night for the first time in Rochester, and when I say so tight, so cohesive, so in pocket, them boys are something special, man. For real. Shout out to J-GILLZ. Shout out to Jay Holiday, too. He got busy as well. So everybody performed last night, did a one hell of a job. Creative Nation, RMG Entertainment, we appreciate you guys over here at the Beat 105.5 for bringing quality shows to the town, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Keep it the good work. Because people in Buffalo asking me why Rochester getting all the concerts. Say, what's going on? Look, we got to go to Rochester for concerts. I said, hey, I don't know, man. But
we always been getting all the shows. I mean, from the early 80s, we've been getting all the Fresh Fest came to Rochester. They didn't go to Buffalo. They came to Rochester. So, you know, that's just how Rochester is just a music hub. And if you live in Buffalo, you know you're close by. You live in Syracuse, you're close by. So I guess we're like the middle, you know, the middle for everybody to branch up and link up and, you know, come see great shows. I'm not mad at it.
I agree with you. You're right. Rochester has a history. You're right. People always been coming for Fresh Fest and all of that.
R&B shows like Luther came here, Shaka Khan came here, Rick James, even though he's from Buffalo, he still came to Rochester to perform. So, you know, all of these guys, they know Rochester is one of those music hubs that, you know, one, you can go get paid in. And two, you know, if people want to see you, they're definitely going to come out and support. So that's what it was all about last night.
Excellent. Glad everybody had a great time last night. Check us out next week. We'll be broadcasting live from the PGA at Oak Hill Country Club next Saturday morning. We lining up a wide host of guests for next Saturday morning show. So check us out live at Oak Hill Country Club. If you're out there early on the golf area, hey, you will be in the media area doing the radio show. So we'll catch you next week, guys.
No doubt. We'll do Sports Show Fanatic, Rad Man, J-GILLZ. Y'all guys have a great weekend, man. Enjoy your nights and your days. You dig? Keep it locked right when you got it. Rock City Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. right here on the Beat 105.5. You know the vibes, though. The Bag of Time Mix Show was on deck. Keep it locked to the beat.